If you've recently been told that you have fatty liver disease, you've probably heard the same advice over and over again: lose weight. While that recommendation isn't necessarily wrong, it doesn't tell you how to actually solve the problem. It's like asking someone how to complete a marathon and being told, just run 26 miles. Technically correct, but not very practical. In this video from Wellness Science Hub, we're going to break down the specific actions that can help reverse fatty liver naturally and efficiently. We'll cover the foods that support liver recovery, the foods that can make the condition worse, and simple strategies that may help you notice improvements within days or weeks. Later, we'll also discuss additional lifestyle habits and supplements that may support faster liver healing and long-term liver health. To improve fatty liver, one of the first things we need to address is a major contributor in today's diet: fructose. Fructose is a simple sugar that plays a significant role in the development of fatty liver disease when consumed in excess. It's important to understand that many sugars eventually provide fructose to the body. Even regular table sugar, known as sucrose, is broken down into glucose and fructose after digestion. The problem begins when the liver is forced to process more fructose than it can comfortably handle. Unlike many other nutrients, excess fructose is primarily processed by the liver. When large amounts are consumed, the liver converts the surplus into fat, which can gradually build up inside liver cells. At the same time, this process produces uric acid, a substance that can contribute to inflammation and further stress the liver. Over time, this combination of fat accumulation and inflammation can continue damaging liver function. Another issue with fructose is the way it affects appetite regulation. Normally, after eating, the body releases hormones that help signal fullness to the brain. One of the most important of these hormones is leptin. However, fructose does not stimulate this fullness response the same way other nutrients do. As a result, it's easier to keep eating beyond your body's actual needs because your brain doesn't receive strong signals that you've had enough. What's concerning is that it doesn't take years for these effects to begin. Research has shown that even a short period of consuming a high fructose diet can increase fat buildup in the liver and negatively affect insulin sensitivity. In some studies, these changes appeared within as little as 1 week. So, how do you reduce fructose intake without making your diet unnecessarily restrictive? First, it's important to separate natural sources of fructose from heavily processed ones. Fructose naturally exists in fruits, some vegetables, and honey. That doesn't mean you need to avoid these foods. In fact, whole fruits are generally not the main problem. Humans have eaten fruits and naturally occurring sugars for thousands of years. The real issue emerged when large amounts of manufactured fructose began appearing throughout the modern food supply. Food manufacturers frequently use fructose-based sweeteners to enhance flavor, extend shelf life, and increase the appeal of processed products. Whole fruits are different because they contain fiber. Fiber slows the absorption of sugar, helping prevent large spikes in fructose entering the bloodstream all at once. Many fruits also contain vitamin C and other beneficial compounds that help support the body's natural defenses against inflammation. Interestingly, some research suggests that fructose consumed from whole fruits may actually be associated with a lower risk of fatty liver disease. This highlights an important point. The source of the fructose matters just as much as the amount. One of the biggest contributors to excessive fructose consumption today is sugary beverages. Most people already know that soft drinks are loaded with sugar, but many overlook other drinks that can be just as problematic. Fruit juices are a perfect example. They're often marketed as healthy choices and are commonly served to children, yet many contain surprisingly large amounts of sugar. Whether it's apple juice, orange juice, grape juice, or another fruit-based drink, it's important to read the nutrition label carefully and check the sugar content per serving. Food companies often use marketing language that sounds reassuring. Labels may say things like contains natural sugars or no added sugar. While those statements can be technically true, they don't necessarily mean the drink is low in sugar. The key difference is that juice removes much of the fiber found in whole fruit. Without that fiber, the sugars are absorbed much more rapidly. In effect, you're consuming a concentrated dose of sugar without many of the natural components that help regulate its impact on the body. That's why choosing whole fruits over fruit juice is often a much better option for protecting your liver. You still get the nutrients, antioxidants, and natural sweetness, but with the fiber and balance that help your body process those sugars more effectively. Understanding this difference is one of the most powerful first steps you can take toward reversing fatty liver naturally and giving your liver the chance to recover. Another reason sugary drinks are so problematic is that liquid calories are incredibly easy to consume in large amounts. When sugar comes in a beverage, your body often doesn't register it the same way it would if you were eating whole foods. As a result, it's much easier to take in excessive amounts without feeling satisfied. Beyond soft drinks and fruit juices, there are several other beverages worth paying attention to. Drinks like bubble tea, for example, can contain astonishing amounts of sugar. In many cases, a single serving delivers as much sugar and as many calories as a rich dessert. If you're a fan of boba tea, one simple strategy is to request significantly less sugar when ordering. Many shops allow you to reduce sweetness by 50% or even 75%, which can make a meaningful difference. Energy drinks and sports drinks are another major source of hidden sugars. Many people consume them regularly without realizing how much sugar they're adding to their daily intake. If your goal is to improve liver health, these drinks deserve the same scrutiny as soda. So how much sugar is too much? General recommendations suggest limiting added sugar intake to relatively modest amounts each day. However, if you're actively trying to reverse fatty liver disease, it may be beneficial to eliminate sugary beverages altogether, at least during the recovery phase. To put things into perspective, a single can of soda can contain more sugar than many people should consume in an entire day. Surprisingly, some beverages marketed as healthier alternatives aren't much better. A typical serving of apple juice contains roughly the same amount of sugar as many soft drinks, and orange juice isn't far behind. From a sugar standpoint, these drinks can place a significant burden on the liver despite their healthy image. The encouraging news is that positive changes can happen quickly. Research has shown that reducing fructose intake can lead to measurable decreases in liver fat within a matter of days. Other studies have found that dramatically lowering sugar consumption for several weeks resulted in significant improvements in liver fat accumulation. The takeaway is simple: your liver can begin recovering sooner than many people realize once the constant flood of excess sugar is removed. Of course, reducing sugar isn't the only factor. Any eating plan that creates a calorie deficit will generally help lower liver fat over time. However, if your goal is to accelerate progress, the evidence suggests that limiting fructose and cutting back on highly processed carbohydrates can produce faster improvements. Some studies have shown measurable reductions in liver fat within just a couple of days when participants followed lower carbohydrate, calorie-controlled diets. Other research has demonstrated substantial reductions in liver fat within only a few weeks when carbohydrates were reduced and protein intake was increased. This naturally raises another common question. Should people with fatty liver avoid fat? The answer is more nuanced than a simple yes or no. Large reviews examining tens of thousands of individuals suggest that excess calorie intake appears to play a larger role than the specific ratio of fats and carbohydrates in the diet. In other words, consuming more calories than your body needs is a major driver of fatty liver, regardless of where those calories come from. That's why many different dietary approaches can work successfully. Whether someone prefers a lower carbohydrate approach, a Mediterranean-style diet, or another eating pattern, the key factor is creating a sustainable calorie deficit while reducing foods that contribute heavily to liver fat accumulation. One clinical study compared several dietary strategies. Participants followed either a low carbohydrate, higher fat approach, an intermittent fasting style plan combined with Mediterranean eating habits, or standard dietary advice focused on reducing sweets and saturated fats. After several months, all groups experienced improvements. However, the low carbohydrate group and the intermittent fasting Mediterranean style group achieved significantly larger reductions in liver fat compared to those following standard recommendations alone. While the study had limitations, including a relatively small number of participants, the findings reinforce an important lesson. There isn't one perfect diet for everyone. Multiple approaches can be effective if they help you consume fewer calories, reduce sugar intake, and remain consistent over time. The most successful diet is often the one you can realistically maintain for months and years rather than weeks. Another strategy that can make a big difference is increasing your protein intake, particularly earlier in the day. Research involving thousands of individuals has found that people who consume adequate protein at breakfast tend to make better food choices later on. A protein-rich first meal can help control hunger, reduce cravings, and lower the likelihood of reaching for processed snacks and sugary foods in the evening when overeating is most common. A practical goal is to include roughly 30 to 35 grams of protein at each meal, especially breakfast. This can help improve satiety, preserve muscle mass, and make it easier to maintain a calorie deficit without feeling deprived. Dietary fat can also play an important role in managing hunger and supporting overall health. However, the type of fat matters. Current evidence generally favors unsaturated fats, including both monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, while suggesting moderation with saturated fats. This topic often sparks debate, but numerous studies have linked excessive saturated fat consumption with increased liver fat accumulation. Human intervention trials, large population studies, and comprehensive reviews have all pointed toward a connection between high saturated fat intake and worsening fatty liver. One particularly interesting study compared the effects of overfeeding different types of fat. Participants consumed extra calories from foods rich in either saturated fats or polyunsaturated fats for several weeks. Although both groups gained weight, the saturated fat group experienced a much larger increase in liver fat. Meanwhile, those consuming more polyunsaturated fats gained more lean tissue and did not show the same harmful liver changes. The practical lesson isn't that saturated fats must be completely avoided. Balance is the key. It's reasonable to enjoy foods containing saturated fat, but they shouldn't dominate your diet. A healthier approach is to reduce heavily processed meats, limit pastries and deep-fried restaurant foods, and focus more on minimally processed protein sources. Foods such as fish, eggs, poultry, and even unprocessed red meat can fit into a balanced eating plan when consumed appropriately and paired with plenty of nutrient-dense whole foods. Along with that, it's important to focus on healthier fats in your diet, especially polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. These are found in foods like fish, nuts, and avocados, and they tend to support better metabolic and liver health compared to more processed fat sources. Now, when it comes to carbohydrates, completely cutting them out is not necessary for improving fatty liver. While low-carb diets can be very effective for some people and may speed up results, they are not always realistic or sustainable for everyone in the long run. The encouraging part is that you can still include carbohydrates in your diet, as long as you focus on quality rather than simply avoiding them. The key is choosing carbohydrates that have a low glycemic index. These types of carbs release sugar more slowly into the bloodstream and help avoid sharp spikes in blood glucose, which is better for liver health. Research comparing low glycemic index carbohydrates with high glycemic index ones has shown that the lower glycemic options are linked with greater improvements in liver-related markers. In practical terms, this means prioritizing foods like beans, lentils, legumes, whole grains, and certain dairy products. On the other hand, it's better to limit or avoid refined and high glycemic carbohydrates such as white bread, many packaged breakfast cereals, and processed potato products like chips, which can contribute to faster blood sugar spikes and less favorable liver outcomes. There are also a couple of common drinks worth discussing when it comes to liver health. Coffee, for example, has been linked in several large observational analyses and meta-analyses to potential protective effects on liver health, including a reduced risk of liver fibrosis, which is a more advanced stage of fatty liver disease. However, it's important to remember that these findings are observational, so they show an association rather than direct proof of cause and effect. On the other hand, alcohol is something that should be strictly limited or avoided if you have fatty liver disease. Alcohol directly increases liver fat accumulation and can worsen inflammation in the liver. Recent large-scale reviews have suggested that even moderate alcohol intake may increase the risk of disease progression in people with fatty liver. This can eventually lead to more serious conditions such as fibrosis or even liver cancer if left unchecked. This is why early action matters so much. Fatty liver can progress from a mild condition to more severe stages like steatohepatitis, fibrosis, and eventually cirrhosis. Once it reaches those advanced stages, the damage becomes much harder to reverse and in some cases may only be treatable through liver transplantation. If you want to support your recovery further, you can also consider certain supplements alongside dietary changes. However, it's important to be clear that supplements are not required to reverse fatty liver. Real, whole foods and consistent lifestyle changes are the foundation of recovery. That said, some supplements do show promise and may be worth discussing with a healthcare professional. One of the most commonly studied is omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These nutrients may help reduce inflammation, lower triglyceride levels, and support fat metabolism in the liver. A number of systematic reviews and meta-analyses of randomized trials have shown that omega-3 supplementation can improve liver enzyme levels and may slightly reduce liver fat content. At the same time, omega-3 supplementation should be approached carefully, as very high doses in some studies have been linked with an increased risk of irregular heart rhythms, including atrial fibrillation. This is why dosage and medical guidance are important. Another compound that has been studied is berberine. Research, including multiple randomized controlled trials and meta-analyses, suggests that berberine may help reduce liver fat, improve liver enzyme levels, and support better glucose and lipid metabolism in people with fatty liver disease. In addition to these, other supplements such as curcumin, CoQ10, certain probiotics, and milk thistle have also been explored for their potential benefits. While the evidence for these varies, some people may find them helpful as part of a broader approach. A separate detailed discussion on these options can be found in additional content from Wellness Science Hub. As always, it's important to consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new supplement or making significant changes to your health routine. The most important takeaway is this: fatty liver is a condition that can often improve significantly with consistent lifestyle changes. By focusing on reducing sugar intake, choosing better carbohydrates, prioritizing healthy fats, and maintaining a balanced diet, you give your liver a real chance to recover naturally and effectively.